Welcome to the Vespa tutorial, the first of hopefully many. My name is Asaf Tal. I'm a spectroscopist just like you, and I'll be walking you through in this tutorial the installation of Vespa on a Windows system. Now I should give a short disclaimer before starting. This is not the official Vespa tutorial. It's not associated directly with the people over at Duke maintaining the Vespa software. It's just my own personal practices, which are probably not the best practices or the most efficient ones, but they'll get you up and running hopefully in the least amount of time, especially if you don't like going through text manuals like me. So what is Vespa? This is probably best answered by going to the Vespa website. So I'm going to go to my favorite web browser over here, and Vespa can be found either by typing in the address of the software, so that's scion.duhs.duke.edu, and clicking enter. I personally find it easier to just type in Vespa NMR into Google or your own personal favorite search engine, and clicking on the first link that comes up. And this brings you to the main page of Vespa. And Vespa is actually, you can see here, a collection of tools that facilitate our work as spectroscopists. So you can see there's an RF pulse tool for RF pulse design. There's a simulation tool for simulating experiments, and there are two sort of, I think, what I view as conjugate tools, which are prior set and analysis, which are used to analyze the data you acquire in an experiment and also to generate basis sets. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, visit the main Vespa wiki, and there are a bunch of links here that can get you started. There's a motivation for Vespa, a detailed description, what can Vespa do, frequently asked questions. Each of the tools has its own sub-wiki. And here on the right you can get their instructions for installing Vespa. And there are two versions of Vespa. The first one, these first four options are customized for the end user. These four options on the bottom here are for developers. So you can actually install a developer version taken out of a repository on your computer, modify it, and deposit it back into the repository. So it's sort of an open source approach. I'm going to focus in this video on installing the end user version. Both versions are actually the same in terms of functionality. There's an option here for trying Vespa without installing. I'm going to click on that. And this takes me to a web page where there are explanations for running this on a virtual box. I've never tried this, so proceed at your own risk. I'm going to go back now and instead go to the download Vespa page. And this depends on your platform, by the way. Each platform, Windows, OS X, Linux, has its own install instructions. Here's the actual zip file containing the Vespa program, so you can just click on it and save it. I've already saved it on the table, so I'm going to skip this step. Instead, I'm going to go to the installation instructions. And there are pretty detailed instructions. Vespa is written in Python, and this means that you not only need to download and install Vespa, but you also need to download and install Python and several libraries of Python. Now, I personally never went through these steps myself. There's actually quite a few of them. As I scroll down, you can see. I've installed a version of Python called PythonXY that sort of installs Python and all of these packages automatically for you. It's not related in any way to the Vespa project, but it was simply put together by a bunch of scientists who were trying to sort of think what packages an average scientist might end up needing from Python. So you can find PythonXY pretty easily, once again, by typing in PythonXY into your favorite search engine. On Google, it comes out as the first result. I'm going to click it. And you can see here the PythonXY web page. Go to download and select the latest version. And this is basically sort of almost automatic, self-explanatory installation process. You basically download it, you click on the exe file, you click next, next, next. There's a typical installation, you go through with it. It's a fairly large installation, I think maybe half a gig. So just make sure you have enough space before starting. I'm not going to actually go through the PythonXY installation because I already have it installed on my computer. But this is really, really straightforward. So just download one file, click on it, and follow the instructions, which are almost fail-safe. All right, I'm going to go back to the to the Vespa webpage. Once you've installed PythonXY, once again, I'm talking about the Windows installation. I really can't comment on the OS X or Linux installations. Once you've installed PythonXY, you're going to need to install one additional library which doesn't come with PythonXY, which is called PyGAMMA. I'm going to click on the Windows instructions here, and there are instructions here for actually installing the package. I'm going to walk you through them in a second, so I'm going to just go back and download the PyGAMMA package. So just click on this zip. This is a zip file if you have Windows, and save it to your desktop or your favorite place. I've already saved the version, so I'm going to click cancel, minimize my web browser, and you see it here on my desktop. Here's also the Vespa zip file. So I'm going to extract the PyGAMMA library. Just extract here. It's going to take a second. Here's the subfolder, and you can see there are a bunch of Python files here. So you can't just run the library as is, you need to install it first. And what PyGAMMA does is it's basically a front end for a library called Gamma, written in C++, used to simulate NMR and MRI experiments. Actually, mainly NMR experiments. And this version already contains, the PyGAMMA version already contains precompiled binaries of Gamma for almost for most systems that are encountered in practice. So you see there is a sub-library here called prebuilt, and there are binaries for Windows 32, OS X 64, 32, Linux, and you can run the 32-bit version on a 64-bit Windows as well. I'm personally running Windows 7 64-bit. You don't need to trouble yourself with this. I'm just going to open a command line. So I'm going to go to Start and type in CMD and start my command line. And actually there's an easier way of doing it. If you go to the window of PyGAMMA where these libraries are, I'm going to close this command line, and hold down Shift and right click, you're going to get an option for Open Command Window here, which already opens the command window in this particular directory. So it's in the Users, Asaf, Desktop, PyGAMMA 4.3.1 version. And to install this, all you need to do is type Python space setup.py space install and click enter. And this is it. Basically, PyGAMMA has just now been installed. Now actually, I may have actually placed PyGAMMA in a somewhat inconvenient location, because I have a suspicion now that I can't actually copy it or move it to wherever I want. So it will have to sort of stay here on the desktop. So I'm actually not a very good Python programmer, actually a very bad one. So you would have to find a Python guy or girl who can corroborate this. But I think that once this has been set up, you're not supposed to actually move the directory. So just make sure that when you extract your PyGAMMA library, you extract it to a location on your hard drive where you actually want it to be. So I'm going to exit and close this window, and now I'm going to open the Vespa zip file. Remember, I'm just going back to the web browser. We got the Vespa web zip file from the Vespa wiki. We went to the main Vespa wiki, download Vespa, and got it from here. So I'm going to minimize this window and extract Vespa. So once again, I'm going to extract here. And as before, we need to install it. So Shift, right click, and open command window here. And all you need to do is type in Python setup.py install. I'm not going to press enter because I already have the developer version installed on my computer, and I am told that the end user and the developer version don't peacefully coexist. So I'm going to leave this last step to you. Just going to let you know what you end up seeing in the end. This is going to end up building the Vespa library, and which is going to have a couple of sub-libraries such as common, devtools, docs, HLSVD, which contain sort of files that are common to all applications. And also there's going to be a subdirectory for each of the tools. So there's an analysis subdirectory for the spectral analysis tool. There's an RF pulse subdirectory for the RF pulse analysis and generation tool. There's a simulation library for the Vespa simulation tool, and so forth. So once you actually want to run one of the tools, for example, let's say analysis, you would go to the analysis subdirectory. And this has just one subdirectory, so I'm going to go into source, src. And here are all the analysis Python files. I can make this window bigger so you can see. And all you need to do to actually run this tool is type in Python main.py. Enter, and this brings up the Vespa analysis tool. So we're going to focus on the different tools as time goes by in different videos. I'm going to conclude this video at this point and hopefully let you install Vespa before moving on to the next tutorial.